from what we saw, you came at Phil pretty hard. You know, you spoke to Phil and and outed him about his bankruptcy and stuff like that. And to be fair, can't lie to you, from the perspective we saw us, it was quite mean. It was quite nasty actually, and it felt like it didn't need to happen. So I want to know why it got to that stage where you decided to say that to Phil.
So first, let me take accountability and say yes, I own the fact that I did say that. So when I got eliminated, I was eliminated from the process. I wasn't eliminated from the people. So in the group chat, it was told to me that Phil said that I was the ugliest woman on the cast. And then when I actually went on the group date with him and Sierra, in that moment, like, as he said again, we're just not a connection. Like, but you'll be good enough to date my son. And his son is 6 years old. So I was like, in that moment on camera, I smiled because I was like, I'm not going to do this on camera. Like, I'm not going to be ugly with him on camera. So I let it go. So when I did my confessionals, the producer was like, how did that make you feel? Because that was really low of Phil to say. I was like, yes, it was. I didn't appreciate him saying that I would be good enough to date his 6-year-old son. Like, who says that? And
you
then,
said that in confessionals or said it to your face?
No, he said that to my face on camera, but I handled it on camera with a smile and was like, thank you, Phil. And I let it go. But in my confessionals, when they asked, I was like, it was just, to me, I felt like that was disrespectful. I said that in my confessionals, but they never showed that. And I only found out about the group chat because they was like, Phil, like, I was getting calls because people were still keeping me in the loop of the process. So, and let me just say this, me and Phil never got to a conversation for me to even know about his job background, because of course, every time we was together, we was addressing why I made him uncomfortable with that question. Phil thinks he had that conversation with me, but he did not. Phil and I never had a conversation about his employment. I promise you we didn't. I don't know why he think he did, but we didn't. Because half the time we didn't talk. He shooting me away, so we never had that conversation. So when I got the call, they was like, yeah, and this was like 2 different calls. They was like, yeah, like, and then if I'm being honest, I don't think the calls were coming from a malicious place when they were calling me. When I was notified that what he was saying in the men's group chat, and then
so wait, somebody was snitching and telling you what was said
they
in the men's
all
group
was
chat?
snitching. They all was snitching. Like, we knew a lot of time, like with Maurier, when I didn't hear from him for those 5 days and he hit me up on elimination day, like, good morning, beautiful. After the elimination, when I was on my way home, I was like, hey, respectfully, like, I just want you to focus on who you're connected to, because I don't think we're connected like I thought we were. And he was like, are you okay? Huh? I'm confused. I was like, yes, like in the women's lounge, I was hearing the different ladies saying how, you've been talking to them for hours up on the days, and that's fine. I was like, but I haven't heard from you in like 4 or 5 days, and you've had my number. You've actually got my number twice, and you haven't used. I haven't heard from you. You haven't returned my call. So I want you to focus on who you feel a stronger connection with, and I'll, continue to focus on my connections. Now, I never put Maurier in my bottom. He was still in my top. I wasn't gonna put him in my bottom just because he didn't talk to me for 4 to 5 days. So I don't know why certain people in their interviews are saying, oh, she just felt some type of way because he probably didn't like her, was talking to more of the other girls. That's fine if he was. I want him to focus on who he feel like he have a stronger connection with, which is why I didn't put him in my bottom. He was still in my top. And that was cool. So then he gets in a men's group chat, screenshots him in our conversation, and was like, hey, let's vote T out. She tripping. She texting me with this BS. And I'm like, how am I texting you BS? I'm literally just telling you, hey, clearly we're not he's saying I was his number one connection. I couldn't have been. You went 5 days without talking to me. In the real world, let's be honest. Like, would you be okay going 5 days without talking to somebody in the beginning, knowing each other's ages?
No.
Don't just say it because we on here. Like, be for real.
No, 5 days. What? No talking?
Yeah, not talking.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm just getting to know you, well, it depends on where we are in a relationship. But if I just started getting to know you, then no, I'm not biggest stressed. But if we have a connection like that, of course, 5 days is a long time.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Um. So when I was told that, I never got to see Phil again. So when I was seeing him at the reunion, of course we walked past each other and we didn't say nothing because we were in a room full of people. So also, yeah, before we got on that stage too, he was in the back making comments about how he liked to eat coochie and blase, making jokes. So in that moment when I heard that, I'm like, wait a minute. He's back here joking in a room full of people about how he likes to eat coochie, but me asking him about a threesome made him so uncomfortable that he ran with that narrative my whole time on the show to make me look bad, and like it just didn't make sense for me. So I was like now I feel played because clearly that I don't know if you're comfortable saying those type of stuff in the back where we're all are here and he's laughing and they're all joking about it. I'm like, but I made him uncomfortable just asking him simply about a threesome. Like, okay. So when I got on stage, especially with me and Janelle getting into it, I was just completely annoyed. And so I was like, okay. Oh, when I got the call that, when they was telling me how Phil said I was the ugliest girl on the cast, and I remember that he said that I
When
was
did
giving
Phil
up.
say this?
He said it in the men's group chat.
So okay, so someone's telling you what is being said in the
Yeah,
men's group
what's
chat.
being
Okay,
said in the group chat. Yes.
so he said you're the ugliest chick in the world
And the cast, on the cast.
in the cast. Okay, did he say
And
those
so,
words, or are you paraphrasing the words? You're the ugliest girl in the group chat, because it sounds
no,
very wild to say that way. That the words he used, or he just said that, you know
that
what?
was
Out of all
what
the
was
ladies,
told to me. That was what was
okay,
told to me, Coach.
okay.
I'm just
So do you
telling you
believe?
what was told.
Do you believe that is what he said?
I can believe Phil probably said that, yeah. If I made
Okay.
him feel so uncomfortable, there's not a connection. We literally had that conversation. I don't know. I do. It was a lot of stuff that was said in that group chat that I was always privy to. So and so when I was saying that, when Quentin eliminated me, I found out again. He went back to the group chat. He was like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to remove some people because clearly she knew a lot of stuff that was said in the men's group chat." So what I heard was actually true. So when I got on that stage, I'm like, okay, since you back here joking about eating coochie and all that, and I made you uncomfortable, that's when I said it.
So you said it
It
because
was
he said in the group chat that you was the ugly one out of the
Yeah,
group.
and
So you
like yes, because if we're being honest, I never talked bad about Phil on camera. I didn't. I never knew I made him that uncomfortable until Janelle told me, and then we talked about it at the little group date. But after that, we just kept having those conversations. But I never talked about him or disrespected him in any manner on the camera. So I was confused as to why Phil would go that low and talk about me. Like I thought we had like made it like we were cool to the point where it was like, okay, we know we're not each other's connection. Does that make sense?
mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Mm.
that's where that
Okay.
comes from.
Hmm. Okay. I'm hearing that. Okay. So that's the reason why you said what you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So go on. Yeah.
And since then, Phil and I have been in rooms together, and we just simply don't say anything to each other. Oh, but after we got off the stage, I will say this because I know Chris caught some slack for how he was talking to Jessica, but I understand why Phil called me the B word as soon as we got off stage and made it back to the room. He was in the green room. He was very upset that I did call him, that I said the broke energy and the bankruptcy stuff on the stage. So I could understand that. And when I talked to my friends about it, they was like, I probably would have called you a bitch too because you did go too far. So like my family was very upset with me. My friends were very upset to me because they was like, you don't talk to people like that. So why did you say that to him? And I was like, cuz, like, why would you talk about me when I haven't disrespected him on the camera, so why would he do that to me? So either way, it was just like a agree to disagree situation. They did hold me accountable. But when we got to the back in the green room, yeah, he was mad. He was like huffing and puffing. Like, this is how his demeanor was. It was like you could tell he was upset. He was very, very mad, to where it was just like the same level as if security probably would have been needed. And when it got so bad to where, of course, he was calling me bitches, like, everybody's in this room. Nobody's saying nothing. Like, you can clearly hear him. It was until Red finally was like, calm down. Like, at the end of the day, she's still on you.
Phil calling you the B word in the room.
The
Is that backstage you're talking about? In the green room?
Yes.
So he was calling you the B word.
Huh?
So he was calling you the B word amongst the group in the green room. Those who were in the green room at the time.
Yep. The only person that said something was Red. And thank you, Red.
Was who else was in the room? Red was in the room. Who else?
It was pretty much most of the guys. Like Red. I don't think Herbert. If Herbert was back there, I didn't see him, but I know Mario was back there. Quentin was back there. No, Quentin was. I think Quentin may have been on stage. Most of the guys, yeah. I was.
Any ladies there?
Who?
Any of the ladies that were backstage too?
Yeah, the ladies were back there.
Who?
Yeah, the ladies were back there.
Okay, so none of the ladies ever stood up for you either. Nope. Kira, Unique.
Nope, not in that particular situation though.
So while you're being called the B word, the people that you're standing up for and ended up in a fight with also didn't defend you.
Good question.
That's kind of peak.
Yeah, they were back there. Yep.
That's hurtful.
Yeah, it is. But, you know, I could take accountability and say I understand why he called me the B word. So, yeah. But, yeah, Red was the only one that said something. And I know Aries went and sat next to Phil and was like, hey, just calm down. Like, she was trying to calm him down. But, yeah, nobody said nothing, but Red was the only one that said something.
Okay. Anything else that you wanted to share about your experience on this show? Because I'm trying to think. I think I've asked all my questions about who you've had an experience with on the show. Was anybody else that you wanted to discuss?
No, I never got the chance to go on a date with Chris because I did ask production. I want to go on dates with Chris and Marie, but I never got the chance to.